Hey guys, it's Ed the Impala Guy. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry for my long absence. There's been a lot that's gone on in the last month or so, and let's get you caught up. First of all, the reason for the prolonged absence is this thing right here. My 2002 Suburban blew a fuel line and was down for several weeks while we were trying to get the fuel lines replaced. Of course, I did it myself. No easy task. Everything that's under that thing is rusted to smithereens. The courtesy of living in the Rust Belt. So anyhow, while that was down, guess what I was daily driving? That's right, this thing right here. And for about a month, I drove it every day, and I learned a lot of things about it. A few problems that cropped up. Some of its quirks, some of its eccentricities, but mostly I found out that it's a really good car. It drives really nice. The two things that really need attention are this. I found the steering rack ended up going bad. It does the thing where at low speeds, if you turn left, you lose your power steering, and all you got to do is give it a little bit of gas, and it picks right back up. It's a kind of a known problem with these things, and what happens is there's a in the piston inside the rack, it gets scored in there in the chamber, and it bypasses fluid, so that at the really low pressures that the pump puts out at idle, it doesn't provide enough pressure to push the rod, push the piston that direction to be able to turn the car left. So anyhow, we have a new steering rack on order for this thing, and it's going to get a new steering rack. It's also going to need an alignment, four-wheel alignment, and I'm going to put a new set of tires on it. So this thing is going to be ready to go here. But the reason I brought you along today is we're going to get caught up on the bodywork while I've got it in the garage and the Suburban back in working order. I decided to start working on this rust spot here, and if you remember what it looked like, it was basically rusted out in this general area, and there was a hole that was leading, and my trunk is right in there, so you can see my trunk, high trunk. And there was no really good way of patching this. What they had done before is they had just stuffed it with foam and silver tape, and bondoed over it, and of course that didn't last too long. So the solution to this was to make a patch. The easiest solution was to go to the passenger side of an Impala and cut out this section and just fit it in. Unfortunately, on the parts Impala, the black one, that area is smashed to smithereens, and that was a no-go. And Crash is still sitting out there. I haven't decided what to do with her yet, but I didn't want to cut into the sheet metal on her just to make a little patch. So what we did, and I think I've showed this on the last video, is I cut out the driver's side fender quarter panel, this on the driver's side, just forward of the gas tank. And what that did is it gave me wheel arches, like that. And I did both the inner and the outer fender, or the inner and the outer quarter, because this is a two-piece thing here. This is the inner portion of the quarter, and then of course the outer skin, and they bond right here. And GM puts this the goopy foam stuff right along there to bond them together, and that leads to rust, and not one of their brightest ideas. So what I did starting yesterday, and sorry I didn't bring you along for this, is I cut out the inner fender, or the inner quarter, and I made a patch, and I did the bonding adhesive to bond it in place, which basically what it does is it gives me a backer for this and something for this to meet up to. It also completes the wheel arch under here right to where it needs to be. And then today we started working on the outer patch, and basically just threw a bunch of cuts and measurements. Here's what I've come up with. It will fit in here like such. And of course, it'll get bonded in with panel adhesive, or bonding adhesive. We will put doublers down here to glue it to, and we'll sheet metal screw it in. And then it'll basically complete the wheel arch. The other portion of this will be this right here, to where this bumper attaches. I left the bumper on purposely. Once I start doing the body work, I'll pull it back off, but I needed the bumper on here to measure where this needs to be. And you can see, let me get this up here. Just about a perfect fit. Now there is a little bit of gap at the top, but that's all right. I mean, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It's, you know, there is going to be some filler here, just hopefully not too much. But basically that's it for the progress so far. Oh, the other thing I did do, and you can see it right here, new struts for the back. Well, new used struts. A funny thing, while I was cutting up the parts car, I noticed that the struts had been replaced in the back and looked like they were fairly recent. They were still rusty, so it was they'd probably done one winter in Michigan, because that's all it takes to make them rusty. But I figured, since the struts on this car were original, I figured anything newer than original equipment 2008 struts would be better off. So I pulled them off the parts car, and lo and behold, they were about a year old. So I'm putting year-old struts on here. I did clean them up and paint them, make them look a little bit nicer. So it got new struts in the back, and it rides a whole lot better. Once we get the steering rack replaced, and we'll take it for its four-wheel alignment, and the car will drive nice and straight and smooth. And then we'll get the body work finished here, and then it's going to be paint correction, and a few little details. I'm going to put the body side moldings on, but only after I buff the paint. What else? That's really about it. Now you can see my reflection. Hello, hello. So like I said, for about a month, I really didn't do anything to it except drive it every day. It was nice having air conditioning during the really warm weather. The Suburban does not have air conditioning. There was actually a couple days after I got the Suburban fixed that I did take this car, simply because I wanted to drive in the air conditioning. But anyhow, it's time to get this thing finished and get it sold and moved on to the next project. Every week I look at Copart, and there's like tons of project cars that I could bid on. But until this one gets sold, we're kind of stuck not buying anything. So anyhow, that's just a brief update. I'll probably update you as soon as I get this all finished in here, and then we'll start working on the body filler work and all the block sanding and the priming and the painting and that whole bit, like we did on the other side. Anyhow, thanks for stopping in. We'll get you guys up to speed here, and I again apologize for such a long delay in uploading stuff. Anyhow, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're so inclined. I'm up to 34 subscribers, which is awesome. 34 of you guys saw fit to subscribe to my channel. And go ahead and hit the like button, or hit the dislike button if you didn't like the video or you didn't like the weight, and let me know what you didn't like. Leave a comment. I read all the comments, especially since there's only like 1 or 2 of them. But anyhow, this is getting towards the end of this project, and I promise the next one will probably not take this near as long, because I'm going to bid on a different type of car with different type of damage. Anything, something that'll go a little bit quicker. Anyhow, thanks for stopping in. We'll get back to you as soon as we get a little farther along here. Thanks. All right, morning, folks. I know my hair is a mess. I just kind of woke up a little bit ago, and want to get out here and get right to work. Let me give you an update here. I got the backer strips installed, and they're all bonded in. This is a test fitting of the patch that goes over it. I still need to trim a little bit here and here, make it fit a little bit flusher. So as soon as we get that, we will bond this in place. It has to sit for 24 hours. well, it has to sit overnight at least, and then it'll be good to go. We'll start with the body filler work. But that's basically what I came up with to mimic the original body contours and the structure here. You can see underneath there's a 90-degree bend in it, and then the bumper will attach right here in the bumper. You can see that's where that will attach, is right there. I got to rivet that back in somewhere. And this was the fastener. This gets stuck up into a square hole. Here's the piece, the factory piece. So this sticks up in there, and the screw goes up in it. And that's what that bit is there on the bumper. But since I'm not going to really take the time to replicate this square and this snap-in clip here for the nut, what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to, when I mount the bumper up here, bumper cover, I'll just drill a hole and we will nut and bolt it using probably stainless steel hardware. It's easy to reach from behind here before you put the fender liner in. It'll actually probably be a little bit better than factory as far as holding power. So that's the plans for this. Then we will sand this, sand it all down, get it ready for body filler, and we're going to fill and blend, and then we'll paint and blend and do the whole thing there, and then we're going to color it good. The other plans were for this side. Now, when I had to get this car on the road like in a hurry because the Suburban broke, I had nothing to drive to work, so basically slap some paint on it, slap some clear coat on it, and colored it good. You can see that I didn't even get a chance to paint down there. So what I will probably do now that the bumper's off again, I will come back. This whole area is going to be color sanded down with 1000 grit, and then I'm going to clear coat with an actual HVLP gun. This was all done with spray can, by the way, and it's dirty, so you really can't see what quality of job it is. But the color came out really well with the spray can. The clear did not. I don't really like the clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a gun, a regular gun. Eastwood sells one that you can use with the smaller compressors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to color sand this whole quarter panel and this roof rail all the way down to here, and we will re-clear this entire thing. That way we're not having to blend. You can see the blend line that I tried. Now this may buff out, it may not, but I'm gonna have to reshoot this with clear anyhow, so why not just do the whole darn thing? The only difficult part will be getting these back on, because you'll have to put the double-sided 3M tape and then trim around everything with a razor blade. So that won't be too fun, but it'll be doable. So we're going to re-clear this side with 2 or 3 coats of clear so we have some depth to it. And then we can buff the rest of the car and make it match the shine. We're going to clay bar everything before we do anything, get all the contaminants off of it. The only other thing that I might look at doing, which I don't know yet, you can see there's a tiny rust spot here, and we may just take that down, do a little spray spritz here, and then do a little clear over it and see if we can blend that. I don't want to be sanding down and clearing the entire roof. And then here in the front we've got a few scratches that we'll fill in. We'll do a paint correction on it and buff it all out. Anyhow, that's the plan for the car, and we're going to get going, getting this patch done, and I'll update you when it's all attached. I wanted to give you a little how-to here, or show you what I'm doing. I drilled a couple holes for self-tapping sheet metal screws. That's how we're going to bond this or clamp this together. But it's one of my things I learned in aircraft mechanic school when we were working with sheet metal. For drilling, you want to use a spring-loaded center punch to make the little dimples before you drill. Makes it so your drill bit does not wander, and makes it just a lot easier to drill. So what I'm doing is I'm going here and dimpling where I'm gonna drill. And like I said, then we'll drill the pieces, and we'll apply the bonding adhesive, panel bonding adhesive, and then you can see the screws. I did one from the inside, one from the outside. I will back these screws out. If they're stuck in there, then I'll just cut the heads off and grind them off. I kind of wanted to give you a little plug for this tool. It's just a spring-loaded center punch. I've had this since I was worked as an aircraft mechanic in the late 1980s, early 1990s, and I don't even know who makes this one. Oh, this is Blue Point. This is a Snap-on product, but they sell them everywhere. They sell tools, and pick yourself one up if you're going to be doing any kind of sheet metal work. It also works as a nice scribe. You can scribe your metal. So anyhow, I'll give you an update when I get this thing glued on. Okay, folks, you can see we are complete with the patchwork here. The bonding material is going to take about 24 hours to dry. I can take the screws out in about 4 hours, but I usually wait a little bit longer than that. This stuff is really nice, and before anybody goes, man, you can't glue car parts together, GM's been using this bonding adhesive on their body parts for many years now. That roof right there is glued on with the same panel bond adhesive. Anyhow, we'll get the screws out of it tomorrow morning, and we'll start the filler work, and we'll sand her down. We'll sand her down first, then we'll get ready for the filler, and then we'll do the body filler and paint and get this thing finished. My goal is to have this car finished by the end of the month for sure. I want to finished and sold by the end of the month, but I'm hoping to get it done in the next 2 weeks. We've got this body work to finish, the steering rack, 4 new tires with new TPMS sensors, and that's about it. And we'll do a clean and detail, and then we'll buff it, get the paint looking good. Anyhow, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully the updates will come a lot quicker since we're going to be finishing this car up, and then we'll get on to the next project. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button if you're so inclined. Leave a comment down below. Ring the bell if you want to get notified every time I post something new. All right, thanks folks. We'll see you later.